Hey, let's talk about nervous system regulation. Nervous system regulation is not about avoiding your problems. It's not about doing things to only cultivate a sense of safety, to only cultivate feelings of comfort. Nervous system regulation is about understanding that sometimes life is hard, that things in life do suck, and that stressful things are inevitably going to happen to us emotionally. And the whole point of balancing and re-regulating our nervous system is coming to that acceptance of, yes, those things happen, but also now that we have the tools and now that we've been doing the work, that we're able to approach those things in a healthier, more balanced and solution-focused way instead of how we used to approach those things, which was in a really unhealthy, unbalanced, and dysregulated way, maybe because we weren't taught how to do those things appropriately when we were younger. So don't avoid uncomfortable situations. Don't avoid things that sometimes make you feel unsafe. Don't avoid things that don't make you feel good just for the sake of not having to, go through some of that fire. How you really expand your nervous system is choosing to not avoid those things within your capacity, always, all the time. You don't want to overdo it, but, sitting in the fire just long enough, volunteering sometimes to go into that discomfort and work on changing your perspective and how you respond and how you see things, right? Because if you're seeing a certain situation or a certain person or a certain event or a certain scenario in a certain way, instead of avoiding it altogether because it makes you uncomfortable or stressed out or you see it as a hindrance, maybe instead try to change your perspective of how you're seeing that person, event, situation, scenario. Instead of just avoiding it because it makes you feel uncomfortable, try seeing it as a situation that could possibly serve you or teach you. If you have symptoms that make you feel a certain type of discomfort, instead of trying to avoid those symptoms, try to actually understand why those symptoms make you feel as emotionally uncomfortable as they do, and understand that whilst feeling uncomfortable, yes, some uncomfortable emotions are necessary, just parts of human nature and life that we all feel at the same time. There's nothing wrong with, from time to time, feeling sad, disappointed, depressed, guilt. There's nothing wrong or bad about feeling those necessary emotions because they're just as necessary as feeling good, as feeling happy, as feeling, excited about something. It's the same thing when dealing with a quote-unquote bad person or a negative situation or a perceived very negative event. Right? Was that really a negative event or was that a learning experience? Is that person a difficult person or actually are they one of your teachers that you could learn from? They're just teaching you in a little bit of a different way as opposed to how a traditional teacher would teach you. Okay? So nervous system regulation is not about avoidance. It's not about staying away from things that make you uncomfortable so you can live this cushioned, safe lifestyle all the time, but it's more so accepting that there are going to be parts of life that suck and that are uncomfortable and that you can't avoid, but going through it and approaching it in a healthy way by regulating our emotions, by learning that even some of the what you thought were negative emotions are actually okay emotions to be felt, and some situations we perceived in a negative light, all you had to do was simply change your perspective. And I say simply lightly because it's easier said than done, all right? Especially with someone with a little bit more of a complicated past, but not impossible. So I want you to reframe how you see nervous system regulation in general, as well as the fact that we shouldn't be avoiding things that make us uncomfortable.